welcome to another episode of SH Vision Book Talk. Jhumpa Lahiri, the Pulitzer Prize winning American author, said, "That's the thing about books. They let you travel without moving a feet." In this episode, I'll be talking about a book that transports you completely into another place. Memoirs of Geisha. Memoirs of Geisha is a historical fictional story written by American author Arthur Golden. It was published in the year 1997. This was the debut novel of Arthur, and he wrote this book in a 6-year period. The book Memoirs of Geisha talks about the transformation of Chiyo, who was the daughter of a poor fishmonger, into Sayuri, one of the sought-after geisha in Japan. I'm 100% sure that the protagonist of the story will leave a long impression in your mind once you finish the book. Geisha is a concept that is not too familiar for us, but the author beautifully explains the concept that is a part of rich Japanese culture through his book. Gei means art and geisha means artisan. So, they are a class of female Japanese performance artists trained in entertaining people in traditional dance, music and songs in their beautiful kimonos and elaborate white makeup. Mostly, they are mistakenly considered synonymous with that of prostitutes, but the author breaks the misconception through this novel. The book is written in first perspective and tells the story of Nita Sayuri, a famous geisha in Kyoto in Japan. Chiyo, like other children, didn't have a very colorful and pleasing childhood, but it was full of hardships. When Chiyo was 9 years old, she and her elder sister Satsu were sold by her father to work within the entertainment districts of Kyoto in Japan. The extremely grave situation at their home made her father sell 2 of his daughters. Chiyo was deluded in the fantasies of having a better life in a place away from her home. But these dreams were easily smashed when she was separated from her sister. Chiyo was taken to an ukiya, which is a training house for geishas, whereas Satsu, who seemed less attractive before the buyers, was taken into a brothel house. A miserable life waited for Chiyo in the ukiya too. Even though she began her training as a geisha, she found it difficult to maintain a balance between her training and household drudgery. The pain she faced in being away from her story is constantly mentioned by the author in the first part of the book. At a point, the reader will also start to empathize with Chiyo. The turning point in Chiyo's life came after she met Mameha, another geisha in Kyoto who decided to undertake her training. Then the writer explains about the processes she went through in the training period. Under her guidance, Chiyo became a full-fledged geisha and one of the greatly admired figure in that place. It is a custom to change name on becoming a geisha. Thus, Chiyo adopted the name Nita Sayuri, and from then on she is referred with this name in the book. Chairman and Nobu, who were business partners, are 2 of the prominent characters in the novel. Sayuri had an untold and secret love for the chairman, who played a crucial role in her life. The story ends when both chairman and Sayuri understands their love for each other, and he agrees to be her damna or patron. Sayuri peacefully retires from geisha work and relocates to New York and starts Japanese-themed tea house for entertaining Japanese men on business in United States. This is just a short summary of the book, but there are surprise elements waiting for you on reading the book. The writer takes effort in explaining how Japan went through during World War II by dedicating a chapter for it. The author says that the people of Japan referred this period as Kuretani, which means the Valley of Darkness. The war left a greater impact on geisha industry. By 1940, the government decided to close geisha districts in the country. Sayuri and others had to take up factory jobs to earn a living and to fight the crisis. This was a period full of insecurities to the people in Japan. The people considered waking up the next morning as a luck. the day-to-day life grew miserable for them. The author has also made a remarkable effort in depicting the Japanese tradition and culture. Thus, when you start reading the book, you feel like you are in another land exploring the things. Even though the story is fictional, the places, events, and detailing on the life of a geisha are all factual. Thus, readers could easily connect with the story. The book is truly an exposure to the country's traditional culture. The author has used a simple language that makes the reading easier for any group of people. The book is sincerely and delicately written, which makes everyone flip the pages of the book very quickly. Throughout the story, the voice of Sarayu is very convincing and realistic. Arthur Golden also uses beautiful diction in the book. He has made an attempt to include a lot of Japanese words, which makes the reader familiar to a culture of Japan that existed at that time. Arthur had to face lawsuit after the Japanese edition was published. He had interviewed Mineko Iwasaki, a retired geisha, for the background information while writing the novel. Iwasaki filed a case on breach of contract and defamation against the author, saying that he had openly made a mention of events in her life which she decided to keep very personal. In 2003, the case was however settled through an out-of-court settlement. In 2005, the director Rob Marshall adapted the novel into a movie. This 428-page book with 35 chapters is endlessly fascinating, and the plot is both gripping and beautifully paced. Margaret Foster, the English novelist, reviewed the book as the sort of novel that novel lovers yearns for, which is to say, so convincing that while reading it, you become transported to another time, another place, and feel you are listening and seeing with someone else's ears and eyes. We will be back with another book in the next episode. Till then, bye.